The air in the living room hung thick, heavy with the scent of lavender candles and unspoken accusations. My wife's voice sliced through the silence, sharp as a blade. "You don't control me, Marcus. I go out when and where I want." Her words landed like a fist to my chest, knocking the breath from me. She stood by the window, her silhouette framed against the dusk, arms crossed, her dark hair spilling over one shoulder. The defiance in her eyes wasn't new, but tonight it carried a weight I couldn't name. A jagged edge that cut deeper than our usual arguments. I opened my mouth to respond, but the words choked in my throat. Something was wrong. Terribly wrong. The house felt alive with secrets, its creaks and shadows mocking my unease. For weeks, I'd noticed the subtle shifts. Her phone screen dimming the moment I entered the room, her late-night work calls behind closed doors, the faint trace of cologne on her jacket that wasn't mine. Each clue was a splinter under my skin, small enough to dismiss but sharp enough to fester. I told myself it was nothing, overtime at the office, stress from her new promotion. But standing there, watching her defiant stare, I felt the ground beneath our marriage begin to crack. "Elena," I said, my voice low, trembling with a mix of anger and dread. "Where were you last night?" The question hung between us, heavy as the storm clouds gathering outside. She didn't flinch, but her fingers tightened around her arms, a telltale sign she was bracing herself. "I told you," she said, her tone clipped, practiced. "I was at the office. Late meeting with the team." Her eyes darted to the floor just for a second, but it was enough. A lie, or at least a half-truth. My pulse quickened, a drumbeat of suspicion pounding in my chest. "You've been at the office a lot lately," I said, stepping closer, the hardwood floor cold beneath my bare feet. "Funny how your team never seems to need you during the day." The words tasted bitter, like betrayal I wasn't ready to name. Her lips parted, then closed, as if weighing whether to fight or flee. "Marcus, don't start this again." Her voice softened, but it was laced with something. Guilt? Defiance? "You're being paranoid. I'm working hard for us, for our future." She reached out, her hand grazing my arm, but I pulled back. Her touch, once a comfort, now felt like a lie. The room seemed to shrink, the walls pressing in with memories of better days. Her laughter as we danced in this very room, the way she'd curl into me on the couch, her warmth chasing away the world. Now those memories felt like ghosts, taunting me with what we'd lost. I wanted to believe her, to cling to the love that had anchored us for 8 years. But the doubts were louder now, screaming truths I'd tried to ignore. "I saw the messages, Elena," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Her face froze, her eyes widening just enough to betray her. Last night, when she'd left her phone on the counter, a notification had lit up the screen. "Meet me at 9. Same place." No name, just a number I didn't recognize. I hadn't confronted her then, too afraid of what I'd find. But now the words spilled out, raw and unstoppable. "Who is he?" The silence that followed was deafening. Outside, thunder rumbled, a low growl that mirrored the storm in my chest. Elena's expression shifted, shocked, then something harder, like she was armoring herself. "You went through my phone?" she asked, her voice rising, deflecting. "That's what this is about. You don't trust me. Don't turn this on me." I snapped, my hands shaking. "You're dodging the question. Who is he?" Each word was a step closer to the truth I both craved and feared. My mind raced with images I didn't want to see. Her with someone else, laughing, touching, sharing moments that were supposed to be ours. She turned away, facing the window again, her reflection a distorted shadow in the glass. "It's not what you think," she said finally, her voice softer now, almost pleading. "It's complicated." The word hit me like a slap. Complicated. A coward's way of avoiding the truth. "Then explain it," I said, my voice cracking. "Tell me why you're sneaking around, why you're lying to me. Tell me why I feel like I don't even know you anymore." My chest ached, a raw, hollow pain that spread with every breath. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to make her see the wreckage she was leaving in her wake. Elena turned to face me, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. For a moment, I saw the woman I'd married, the one who'd cried in my arms when her father died, who'd promised to love me through anything. But then her expression hardened. and the woman I loved slipped away. I didn't want this, she said, her voice barely audible. I didn't mean for it to happen. The confession, though vague, was a knife to my heart. My knees buckled, and I gripped the back of the couch for support. Didn't mean for what to happen? I asked, though I already knew. The truth was there, in the tremble of her lips, the guilt in her eyes. She didn't need to say his name, or admit the details. The betrayal was real, and it was tearing me apart. It's not about you, she said, stepping closer, her hands reaching out as if to bridge the chasm between us. It's about me. I felt trapped, like I was losing myself in this life, in us. Her words were a desperate attempt to justify the unforgivable, but they only deepened the wound. Trapped? With me? The man who'd given her everything. My heart, my trust, my future? Then why not talk to me? I shouted, my voice echoing off the walls. Why go behind my back? Why him? The questions poured out, each one a plea for answers that might make sense of the chaos. But there were no answers, only the bitter taste of her silence. The storm outside broke, rain hammering the windows like 1,000 tiny fists. Elena's tears finally spilled over, streaking her face, but I couldn't bring myself to comfort her. Not now. Not when every word she spoke felt like another betrayal. I'm sorry, she whispered, her voice breaking. I didn't want to hurt you. But she had. She'd shattered the foundation of our life together, and I didn't know if I could forgive her. The room spun, the walls blurring as my anger gave way to grief. I thought of the future we'd planned. Children, a house by the lake, growing old together. Was it all a lie? Had she ever truly loved me? As I stood there, drowning in my own heartbreak, a new sound cut through the storm, a sharp, insistent knock at the door. Elena's head snapped up, her eyes wide with panic. Don't answer it, she said, her voice urgent, almost afraid. But I was already moving, my feet carrying me toward the door as if drawn by some invisible force. My hand closed around the knob, cold and solid, and I turned it, revealing a man standing in the rain. His face was familiar, though I couldn't place him. A colleague from her office, maybe? His eyes met mine, then flicked to Elena, and in that moment I knew. This was him. The one who'd stolen her from me. Marcus, he said, his voice steady despite the rain dripping from his hair. We need to talk. The world tilted, and I felt the final piece of my heartbreak. Whatever came next, confrontation, confession, or collapse, I knew nothing would ever be the same.